Good morning, students. We have a very special guest today, as we call them above the line people. These are entertainment professionals.
They are accepted. They were accepted by Hollywood. We're number 1, number 2 on the call sheet, above the line.
Insiders.
Today, Lauren and I were not even on the call sheet, really.
What?
No, you just showed up.
Yeah,
We're crew.
We're PAs today.
I'm the gaffer.
Yeah, I'm like the director's like friend's daughter.
Oh, you know what? That's a fun gig, though.
Yeah.
I like a Nepo baby.
Yeah. Lots of money, drugs. You don't really have to work.
Yeah.
It's great.
Yeah.
Great
We
gig.
should all be so lucky.
Yeah.
But these two ladies, they were not Nepo babies. They did it all themselves. Please welcome Heather Brown and Christie Wallace for the podcast Sinisterhood.
Hello. Thank
you.
Are you going by Brown now?
I should have corrected you. That's technically my
so
married
sorry.
name. No, you're great. That's my name on Facebook, and I did it. You can leave all this in, by the way, if you want to. Legally, it's still McKinney, and professionally, it's still McKinney. I just put my married name on Facebook, so I stopped getting asked by everybody, when are you going to change your name? Because if it's on Facebook, they think you already did.
That's smart.
Oh yeah, well, because
Anyway, I
everyone
now
on
have an alias.
I fell
on
for the
Facebook is
ruse.
like everyone on Facebook is like not our age, even though we're all on it.
Yeah.
They're old.
I just never changed mine, so
Good.
Oh
Yeah.
really? Well,
Out
you
of
just
wedlock.
I didn't change it legally, so I didn't
either.
change it on Facebook. But now people that look me up from high school, which probably never happened, so it doesn't matter anyways. And they're like, "Man, she never got married." And I'm like, "Or I just didn't take his name.
You don't have to
Look at
change.
these two kids.
Look at these two kids she had out of wedlock."
I didn't change my name until I was like 6 months pregnant, and it was like the height of COVID. And I was like, oh, I think that I would want my daughter to have I want the same last name as her. But doing it during COVID, I had to mail my social security card, my driver's license, my marriage license, because all of the offices were closed.
Yeah.
So I was like, I hope I get all this
That's
stuff
scary.
back in a new name.
Yeah.
Gone.
A
Otherwise, I am
physical copy.
undocumented, and my mother was not born in the U.S., and this could be a problem.
They're like, you don't exist anymore. We shredded them. Sorry.
You don't have a social security card. You don't have a driver's license. You don't have a birth certificate.
Good
You
luck.
don't
Yeah.
exist.
Very high stakes, low
It was
reward.
high stakes. I was very worried, and I was
Your
like,
husband should be very
Honored, yeah.
just over the moon though that you went to such trouble to do that.
He was like, "What are you doing now?"
Didn't notice.
You won't believe what the government's asking me to do because I am a woman of color.
Yeah, the government is of the United States is traitors, which brings us to
Oh,
our
Jesus
episode
Lord.
topic today.
Beautiful segue.
Constantly.
We're
Might as
to
well
talk
be
about-
Congress.
Oh, am I right? But what's still going strong is Traitors UK.
Yeah.
Yay! Season 1 was so successful. It was a critical and commercial success. It won BAFTAs and shit. So they came back with season 2, which was equally critically and commercial successful. So it's perfect for us to talk about. Before we begin, I would like everyone to answer this one question. Are you a traitor?
Never. I couldn't be.
It depends on which aspect of my life, doll.
Which aspect are you a traitor in?
Probably being a good mom. It's a ruse.
A traitor to your children.
I act loving towards my daughter and patient, but inside I'm like, ugh.
Yeah, that's a real thing. Yeah,
She'll be
Write that name on the
banished.
chalkboard.
Yeah, actually, lately she just
Ruby down on the chalkboard.
banishes herself. Yeah, she banishes herself from the dinner table daily, every night at
Well,
dinner.
here
She's
comes mine.
like, okay,
Hey, bud.
bye.
You got to go out there.
Edit the part where Christie's a good mom. This is for Jason. Oh, see, you know.
He's in an alliance.
Okay.
Cut that.
Well,
Cut that.
Protect
Yeah, I
him.
was just saying that if
Christie-
you start talking shit about a baby,
Christie is-
Simon's rolling it.
So you guys were the perfect guests for this season because you guys won the inaugural Dallas game of Traitors.
The whole city. I like that
did.
you're taking the whole city.
You're like,
yeah.
you're the first one.
Let's do it.
was that
Yes.
was I the one?
You were there.
You were there.
I was there, and I left after I got
Murdered.
Banished.
Yeah.
murdered.
And I arrived late, so
Yeah.
I managed to
Yes.
do a. I pulled what's her name from the U.S. version.
The Kate
Kate.
Chastain.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Yeah, you were Kate.
Hated.
Dropped in late and made
Hell
it to
yeah.
the final. Yeah.
Mhm.
Wow, that's even more impressive. You just show up late in the game and you're like, watch this, bitch.
First, we'll let Christie reveal. Christie, please reveal if you've decided to steal or share.
Even though she just got here, she's my bestie, so I said share. Yeah.
All right, Heather, go ahead and decide. Tell us what you've revealed.
I wrote, "Give to Christie. I just got here," or share.
Yeah. Mic drop.
Like,
Yeah, above the line, watch this, okay?
Above the line.
whenever
Above the
y'all,
line.
when it was Christie towards the end, and I was like, I'm not gonna turn on her. I felt very much like we'll get to them here, Diane and Ross. There's certain alliances that you're like, this is more than a game. This is my
I feel
life.
like Lauren
baby.
and I like
And
Lauren,
that's
would
the
you
good TV.
But
That's,
Lauren-
that's what you like to watch.
Lauren, would you turn on me though? Because I feel like you would, and I probably would too.
I feel like you would.
I feel like we just would,
you
but
would
we'd both be okay with it.
Yeah, and I think that's what was funny is that like
Yeah.
the wives turned on husbands so quickly in the game. Like every time Christie was like, I think Tommy's a traitor, and was faithful every time. He's like,
got
I
him
think I would've
voted out
made it
every
a lot
time.
farther if it weren't for her. Like,
Yeah.
so yeah, I think I probably
Yeah,
would
we
innately.
probably- And then
Karen.
and like I would take all of the money and I would say I would invest it towards our podcast.
Yes, same. Yeah, all of the money.
Say that.
Stay. Well, I
And
think it
then-
was like movie tickets and like legal CBD or something.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
you guys, yeah.
Yeah, and a candle, which
That
was
was a
very
candle?
nice.
Candle.
So
Oh, good.
actually, I was glad that I was killed. Thank you.
You were tired. You said
I
you
was.
needed to go home,
I
so
don't.
you needed
Lauren,
out of there.
I famously don't stay up past like 9 o'clock. Like when
Wow.
it hits double digits, like when the clock strikes 10. That's when
Gone.
you know
You're a
I'm,
pumpkin?
I'm partied out.
I like that you
Mhm.
famously don't stay up that
Famously.
late. Like,
Very
that's one
Everyone
thing you all
knows.
know
Our
about her.
listeners, in different parts of the world, which we do have, they know that I'm famous for that.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. They're always talking about it in Germany.
An international woman of
Interna-
sleepiness.
Yeah.
Yes.
Very tired.
Yeah, we'll put some footage of that triumphant
Yes.
win. If everyone in the group chat says it's okay. That's what the
Yeah,
traitors footage.
for
Yeah,
sure.
I remember
Cool.
us being in the closet that you're in now. Didn't we do like a confessional in there?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yes.
that's right.
Yeah.
Yes. with
Oh,
lots of
that's right. We
confessionals.
found
Yeah,
that.
we did. And I think I could, yeah.
Booby suit.
Yeah,
Yes.
too.
We found that. Forgot
right.
about that.
Yeah,
Definitely
our
put
friend
that on the
Tyler
internet.
did a lot of confessionals that were just him feeling the boobs.
Yeah.
I don't know if
They
they'll
were
let me go.
very rubbery. Like
Yeah, what's that made
Yes.
out of?
I think
silicone?
rubber, and then
Okay,
it's
a
it
rubber.
was supposed to be cotton on the inside because I got the cheap like titty bib, but then somehow there was a mix up and it gave me like the
A
actual
mix-up?
silicone gel.
Oh,
So it's like the
Oh.
nice titties.
nice.
Where is it?
Actually, give me one.
Oh,
one moment.
oh,
Can
you
you
got-
remembered what my oral exam's supposed to be? I have
It's within
ADHD.
arm's
I
reach.
have what my oral exam was going to be.
I like that
Okay.
it's like, like if you go, hey, Heather, where's your passport? I might be like, there's like 3 or 4 places to look, but it's like, Lauren, where's your titty bib? You're like, 3rd shelf,
I know.
closet. I got
She
it.
knows where her props
right there.
are.
That way, when the house is on fire, you can go grab the valuables.
Yeah.
That's the
Yeah.
first
Well,
thing I
you
find.
don't want that
That
to
and the
melt.
dogs.
You don't want that to melt.
The dogs
Yeah.
don't run out on their own. They're smart.
I look
Okay,
at like,
yeah.
you know, my documentation,
Yeah, that's it,
Well, you
mailed
worked
off.
really hard for it, so
Yes,
you
earned
better.
it. Yeah.
my birth certificate.
you
which
sent
is-
off for
I
that.
hope that you have those things filed in a fireproof safe or something.
They're in a
Lauren.
box somewhere for sure.
You got to put those
Okay.
titties in a fireproof
Yeah.
safe.
I do, yeah.
Otherwise,
Now,
they're
now I'm
melted.
going to invest. I'm going to
Yeah.
go to a hotel and steal one. So, are you guys are
I'm
reality?
gonna go to a Comfort Inn.
Yeah. Speaking of comfort, what are you guys' reality TV comfort
Oh,
shows?
these
Do you
segues,
like to
Lauren.
watch?
Oh,
We're getting
I
so far
love
away, guys.
reality TV. I would say my comfort shows. Game shows, reality TV are like my 2 favorite things. So when you combine them with
Ooh.
murder,
Mm.
I mean, my dream, not even joking, would be to be on Traitors. And I
Ooh.
think I could do either role, but I think I would enjoy being a not traitor more, just
Oh, a
because
faithful.
You were
it's
a really good
so
faithful. You made it to the end.
thank
both
you.
times. Yeah.
See, it's easier to be honest.
I think
So
so.
Mhm.
and
Like, sniff
it's
out people.
yeah. Well,
Mhm.
also, I feel like in the show they get like the further it goes along, the more attached you get to people, and then
Oh,
it's really hard to like lie to people's faces and stuff unless you're Paul and you're a sociopath, and it
Paul.
just comes so natural that it doesn't matter.
He's like, I'll just use my feelings to benefit myself, and I'm like,
Yes.
you should see somebody about that, man.
Yeah.
Like, what?
Talk
Yeah, I
about
think-
weaponizing your BFA and acting. Like, jeez.
Right?
But I do think you would crush it on Traitors. I think you'd be so good.
Oh,
I think
yeah.
if we went on Traitors as like a duo that we didn't tell people that we knew each other, I think we would
Ooh.
dominate for sure.
But that's hard
Dude.
though, because then you do have a lie. You've got a
Yeah.
lie.
Yeah. A lie you
yeah,
have to
like Diane and
protect.
Ross.
Like,
Yep.
like Diana Ross, she was full of lies.
Diana
Oh,
Ross
I know.
was the best traitor we've ever seen.
What was her big lie?
Hair.
That
Uh-huh.
fabulous hair.
Yeah. Christie's
Speaking
our
of
guru.
great hair, what did you guys think of Claudia Winkleman?
Oh,
Lauren
I
said
love
that
Claudia.
checks.
I like her a lot. She's a different vibe than Ellen, and I watched the
Mhm.
Ellen Cumming version first. I do like her I like her cheeky humor, and I just have to be like, they're different people, and you can love them for
Mhm.
different ways. Because the way he says "mildew" like makes my bones feel like jingly. Like I love it so much.
He's Scottish, right?
Yeah, he's
Yeah.
Scottish.
She's English, so
English,
yeah.
so very
I love her
different.
though. I like her vibe. I didn't know who she was,
Mm-mm.
and then I had to wait till after I watched all the seasons to look her up because I was so worried I would get a spoiler. And then I read a lot about her and I like her even more. So yeah, I like her, and I think she has a warm vibe about her.
Good
What
attitude.
do you like
yeah.
best about her? Is it her personality and how she hosts the show, or her velvet suits?
Yeah.
Ooh, she that's one
All
of the
the
best things
velvet.
about the Traitor host. It's Australia. I mean, he was
Mm.
fine, but the other ones, like Alan, takes the cake.
Mm-hmm.
I think I liked her dress, but I like her just vibe and her attitude. Her hair, she looks like
Yeah.
somebody that would have been fun back in the 80s in a club. Like I want to go clubbing with her
Like,
back in the 80s in
when
London.
Cocaine was
Yeah.
rampant.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Okay.
for
I
sure.
liked it. She to me like kept me guessing because Alan does have like a sort of he's
A
gonna
tell.
be cheeky and
Mhm.
sort of like, and I mean I like it. It's the same but in a good way. But hers, like, she was nice at one point and she was kind of more sinister at another point. I was like, she's keeping me guessing.
She's
Yeah.
She's a
very
mom too,
British.
so I think that
Stiff upper lip.
naturally comes out. Yeah,
Mhm.
but I liked her. She seemed like she really cared about all of them too.
Yeah, I feel like
Mhm.
this first season of Traitors UK, she was more like a henchman and
Mhm.
more like,
Mhm.
very serious and
Yeah.
spooky.
Throwing
But this
everybody off.
season, she had like a lot of like interviews where she was like, "You guys are doing so good."
Mhm.
We saw like her warmer side.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Very motherly.
Mm.
So the season 2 premiered January 3rd of this year with 22 contestants vying at the chance to become cold-blooded killers, or as they say in the UK, have a bloody good time, yeah, and go to hospital. That
hospital.
was Michelle's joke.
I'll see you at uni.
What do you guys think about the fact that people in the UK just say hospital
Hospital.
and not the hospital?
I love
Because-
it.
I
Yeah.
love
Do
it.
you?
Why use
Because
more
you know
words
what?
when
Because
few
it's
words
an-
do trick?
It's an
Mhm.
emergency. And
Brevity.
yeah, it's brevity. And if you're going to hospital, it's an emergency.
And it's
an
emergency when you go to college. I have to go to
I have to go to-
university.
I have to go
now.
to uni. I can't even say university. I'm
Not the
going
whole
to
thing.
uni.
Uni.
I gotta
Yeah.
graduate. I don't have to say the whole word.
No, you don't have
Yes.
time. You're studying. You got to
Mom,
abbreviate where you
Mom.
can.
Don't
Yes.
call me when I'm at the hospital uni. Oh, at hospital uni.
Hospital uni,
At
yes.
hospital
Yeah.
uni. So day 1, the traitors are selected, and they all have huge smiles when they find out. The traitors selected are Ash, Harry, and Paul. Did you guys have an initial strong impression of any of these traitors? Like who would go far, who would suck, who would be a sociopath?
Well, I feel like Paul was super eager. So there's always one in every season. There's
It's like-
someone that's too
like,
eager
I want to
where
do
you're
it.
like, you're living out some kind of
Yeah.
twisted fantasy.
I thought
Yeah.
Paul had secrets, and I'm like, what do you? I
Yeah.
don't even know what they are, but you seem
Yeah.
like you have secrets.
Yeah.
Like, why do
Mhm.
you like to be duplicitous? He was too giddy
Mhm.
about it. Harry, I was like, you'll probably go far because you're like
I like
soldier.
Harry,
And I'm
I
like,
like Harry.
soldiers, I feel like you can usually like disassociate and just sort of like go, okay, well, this is the mission, and even if I have to be bad, I have to do it. And I'm like, that's better for this show, and not like, I'll lie to everyone.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Yeah.
Just
Yeah.
PTSD flashback into
Yeah,
another time
You
and
can
operate from
compartmentalize
that.
your trauma when
Exactly.
you've been in the
That is such
military.
a good
so
thing
it's
to do
easier.
with trauma.
Yes.
And Ash, I was like, this woman has no chance. 'Cause she was like, I'll
No.
just put myself at the end of the line. I'm like, you gotta act like you want it. Fight.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, but
And
in
then
the
leave the
other
other-
season, they got sent away when they got sent to the end of the line, or they put themselves there. So that's also season 2 had the
mummy
knowledge
and
of seeing season 1 and what happened.
True, because
Right.
she still went to the end. I'm like, at least fight to be like 3rd or 4th. You know, if you want to be under the radar, don't take one and just be like, I'm a loser anyway. It's like, okay, well,
I didn't have high hopes for Ash, unfortunately. I was surprised kind of she got picked, but they do usually throw somebody in there that you wouldn't assume. So I think that was her.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Totally. You got to have, we were like thinking for casting, it's got like when we were casting our traitors, it's like you need like one person who is like, duh, they're a traitor. And that would be Paul. One person who's like, oh, like kind of unexpected. So maybe they'll go far like under the radar. And one person where it's like wild card, they're probably not going to be good at this.
Yeah.
And I feel like that's the formula. And then they also get to recruit a 4th traitor tonight instead of doing a murder. So they chose Miles. What did you guys think of their choice?
I like Miles.
I thought it was a good choice because I thought he was kind of soft faced and like he been kind of soft already,
vengeful,
and then and it makes it like challenging because he had walked around going, I'm not a traitor, I'm not a traitor. I would, because he really was, and so he was
seemed
saying
very sincere.
Yes, he was saying it with like sincerity, and so for me it would be easier to be Harry, Paul, or Ash, where you're just already a traitor and you don't have to lie. Versus Miles, you're like I just told them yesterday to their face in a certain way. And then also Miles has no poker face.
No. He has a lot of tells. He has a guilty conscience. I think it served him better though to go as far as he did by being a faithful first, because he doesn't have a poker face. I think like he did come off sincere and honest that first day. And then he's kind of already built this foundation, but I think that he kind of did a 180. So I was surprised more people weren't like, Miles is acting totally different now.
He let the stardom go to his head. You understand, ladies, you're above the line. It can happen.
Yes, it was dizzy
does,
with power.
100%
Dizzy via
different,
fame, power, possible fortune.
That's fingers crossed.
Ooh,
But
possible
I think he seemed like he wouldn't be. So I think it was a good recruit because he was already very likable and got along with everybody. So I don't think he was going to be a target.
But was he good TV?
Yeah.
I honestly didn't really enjoy watching him. And I think it's because he seemed so nervous after he got to be a traitor that he just kind of caved in on himself.
He kept running to the bathroom and no, I don't. That's why I was running to the bathroom with nervous energy. That's very suspect. Why are you so anxious?
Yeah, I think it's like I feel like even though it's the most advantageous spot in the game, kind of to go from faithful to traitor because you lay that groundwork, I also feel like it would be like what smoking pot is for me, where the whole time you're like, well, how did I do things yesterday? Am I doing things different now? Is everyone watching me?
Did I do my arms like this?
Like, is this how I talk? Am I talking weird? Yeah.
Yeah.
It would be, yeah.
And that's how I feel when I don't take my antidepressant.
Same.
That's very sad.
Yeah.
Very sad.
So at the first round table, Diane is kind of steps up as someone who is good TV and a kicky fuck me bobs, like a 50-year-old mom type. She's making moves. Fuck ass Bob, sorry.
Is that what you were going for? Like the Diane? Give me the Diane from
season 2
of Traitors UK.
I want a wedge, a heavy bang,
hard. Put a ruler up and cut.
I want to look like I have a secret son. Give me a Bob with a secret son.
It's the Luke.
I liked it.
Yeah.
She came out swinging, and it's like
I liked her.
you
Yeah.
come out swinging with not, and you may be not right, but at least you have a reason. I think that does make you seem like less traitory, and also maybe gets the discussion going, because otherwise everybody kind of just sits around and is like, well, who's going to say something?
Nobody even wants to be the first one to talk.
Mhm.
And it is
That's
really
a thing.
it is interesting to get like y'all's input on this, because you talk about murder so much on your show, so you know
We
what
do.
to look for, you know the clues.
The tell.
Who reminded you most about like Jeffrey Dahmer?
Oh man.
Oh, Paul, for sure. Just that.
yeah. Paul had the most
charisma. Was Jeffrey Dahmer
psychopath
the
a
vibes.
little bit. Yeah,
Who was
Paul,
the one that had a lot of charisma? Not on Traitors, just like the serial.
Ted Bundy.
Oh, Ted
right?
Bundy is famous.
Ted
for,
Bundy.
like, kind of being a lawyer and being able to like switch back and forth between dark and being like friendly with people. But I think Paul, because right before this round table, I think it was at the breakfast scene, Harry's like, he's very George Costanza. He's like, if you believe the lie, it becomes the truth. And so I'm just, and again, it's almost like military training. He's like, I'm undercover, so I have to believe it.
Ugly
Meanwhile,
the next.
Fucking Paul was like, well, I'm tempted. Should I, at breakfast, he's like, should I cry? Would that make it seem more? I'm like, okay.
So you were getting serial killer vibes.
Yeah, he was and as time went on, it only got creepier.
Yes.
And it's Tommy and I both were like, get him off. We're so fucking tired of seeing his face.
And it's not because
he just
he's a
skirted
redhead.
by.
And we're going to say
No,
that right
I love
now.
redheads.
Okay.
Oh, no. It's not because he's a redhead.
No hate against the Ginge, but
I also,
he's
I gotta say it. I think he's a pretty handsome.
He's a good looking guy.
Yeah.
Look,
If
I
there's
will have
that's the
sex
kind-
with him.
that's the kind that his face.
Stop asking me.
Was that the question?
You're gonna see his face on the screen and be like, last scene with these missing people. Like, I don't know.
Yes.
Because they're like, but he's so handsome. No one
I
suspected
mean,
him. I'm
however,
like,
whatever it takes to get my face on television.
Yeah.
Whatever it takes.
Well, yeah, your face only.
Yeah, just my face only, like missing.
Yeah, he definitely leaned into his role as the episodes went on. And then Harry, I don't want to get ahead of you, but then Harry started turning, and then
it was kind of a disciple thing.
Yes, like a mentor,
like a murderer who's like, I'll have a protege.
Yes, it's like Hannibal and Buffalo Bill. Yeah,
Buffalo Bill.
And it was Buffalo Bill.
This whole thing, we didn't even know.
Oh no, and Ash was the senator's daughter. Bottom of the well.
Speaking of which, Paul throws Ash under the bus at the round table. Was Ash like really a weak link and this was necessary, or does Paul kind of preemptively try to fuck over another traitor for his own gain?
I thought it was too soon.
Bullshit. That's bullshit.
Episode 2, like you're coming out the gate swinging. I don't think she was going to win the whole thing, but I don't think she was given enough screen time or play time to really even know what she was capable of. I think he just wanted to make a big move. And also, it was a boys' club type of situation.
It was such a boys' club.
I guess I just, people are gonna die and that happens, and we just got to move on, I'm gonna like one of the people that you like dissect on your show next.
No, it's true though. I thought it was bullshit that he saw her as that she had put herself at the end of the line. She wasn't gonna fight, and it was like when you're a shark, you can smell blood, and it's like he smelled the blood on her and was like, if I pressure her, I can get her out of here.
Yeah,
and if you give them a traitor, then they
think you're innocent.
Yeah, you kind of get the heat off of you for a bit. But he turned on her fast, and I personally, from like just tactical play, if I was a traitor, I don't think it's smart because you've just shown your hand to all the other traitors, like how quick you're willing to turn on somebody.
For real.
Yeah, and it does like bite him in the ass later for sure.
Yep.
And even though he goes after Ash hard, there's someone doing even worse than Ash at this round table.
Baby.
Poor Brian. His biggest sheep and has a huge panic attack and makes everyone go around the table saying, am I or amn't I? And everyone's like,
oh, buddy.
What?
Amn't? Yeah. He's like, I need a selfish moment right now. And they're like, do you want everyone to say whether you're a traitor or not? It's like, this is such a weird request. We kind of have to vote you off. This is strange. Like we don't even know how to reply. This is so weird.
We have to put you out of your
misery. Is a producer gonna like jump in here for a second and be like, this is
Help.
Not gonna
Sometimes I
happen.
do wonder. I wish they had a time clock at the bottom during the roundtables, because I'm like, how much time has legitimately passed during these?
I wonder that, and I wonder when
Yeah.
they cut to, especially the people that are under the gun, like in this case, Ash and Brian, it would cut to them going like gulp with their water, and I'm like,
Yeah,
they probably
the way
just
that
reasonably
The
drank.
water
Yeah,
drinking,
yeah.
the water drinking at these
So
round
just-
tables is like part of the drum. I feel like these
Yeah.
these water glasses are like
The
like
goblets that they
they're-
all
Yes.
have in front of them.
Yes, and never forget, drink your fucking water, traitor.
Yeah.
in
They're just
US
like-
season 2.
and everyone's like so anxious and like downing water, like that's gonna do
Yeah.
anything. Water is good
Yeah.
for you. You should drink
No, it just makes it's like shaking in his hand.
And
Yeah.
he's
Yes.
shaking these
I'm just
shaky
being
goblets.
myself. I'm being myself.
Shaky
I was like,
goblets.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, bud. Sometimes you're
Yeah.
suffering enough.
Yeah,
Yeah,
people-
he
people-
did that to himself.
That's the whole
Yeah.
show. The whole show is that if you crumble the second someone accuses you, then you got to go. You don't deserve to be on the show. It's not for you.
I agree.
And
Yeah.
we talk about that, like UK is different in my opinion from the others, where like I just feel like the British, they just get it right. They're more highly trained somehow, even in the reality arts.
just
Like they're just more
life
highly
work.
trained.
Materialism,
Breath work.
yeah.
You know, they've taken many movement classes. I can tell. You know, it's
They're
like-
Yeah,
seizing
yeah.
the
I did
moment like
communi-
they seized
I did
India.
community theater, and I know what to look for. And these ones, the British, they're always so highly trained.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
and the
everybody.
accents really set it off. So
Yeah.
you know,
Mhm.
you always, they sound smarter than all of us. If you put
sure.
one American on that show,
No,
Dunzo.
what a yokel
they'll look like such
they'd
a
sound
hit.
like.
I
Yeah.
volunteer though to be like, I don't know, man. This
I
is crazy.
volunteer as tribute.
This redneck.
I would love to be on the UK season, but then we don't get Alan.
Would you go?
But you do get
"Oh,"
Claudia.
Would you be
so-
like, why do y'all sound like this?
Y'all sound funny.
yeah, I
Or
why
I
do
have
you
a
talk
fake
like
British
that?
accent, and I'm like, oh no, I'm from whatever. I don't know.
I'm
I'd have to
from
do a
Wales.
research on a
I'm from-
backstory. But I
I'm
have to,
from
On the
Hertfordshire.
quiet
And
That's
then,
what I say.
you know, as soon as you go like, I'm from Hertfordshire, they're like, oh, my mum's from there. Do you know me aunt? And you're like, fuck. But if you just go, yes, she loves bangers and mash, then you're gonna go.
and warm beer
Yeah,
and
dude.
hospital.
They're like, she does love bangers and mash. She does know me, mum. Yeah.
She
It's a
likes
pretty
to
sick
nosh on a
bet.
big ass bowl of beans like Zach.
Oh
just
my
like,
god!
oh,
damn, dude,
the
just-
baked beans.
I'll think you did this. Oh, I'm like, put the spoon down, bro. We're not. Come on now.
Okay, can we? Okay, I'm gonna just
Like a
sidebar really
cowboy.
quick. The way that people eat on this show is so crazy. They're in this beautiful castle. Why
Just
isn't
like-
there like a gorgeous dining room where they can like eat like their people? They're always having like plates on their laps, or like they're standing over a bar.
It's like a
yeah,
I guess the
mixer.
only time they get to have a pleasant meal is when they find out who's been murdered, and that's
Yeah,
at
breakfast,
breakfast.
yeah.
And
Enjoy
it's
your
not
fruit and waffles.
enjoyable, and that's when they're
Yes.
just eating piles of beans because that's what they eat for breakfast there.
Just
And
open a
that in
can.
it's not that there's anything wrong with that, but that's
No.
what they eat for breakfast over there: tomatoes and
It
baked,
is,
like
yeah.
Bush's
Mhm.
baked beans. That
You
is
gotta
their
start
breakfast.
your day off right with a can of beans.
Big
Can of
ol'
beans
hearty
on
tin.
toast.
Open the tin and get the beans.
Did you know
out.
that they don't stay at the castle?
Yeah, we see them drive
Yeah.
away.
Yeah,
What the
they
hell?
stay like an hour away,
No,
and then
I'm
they
not
have
doing that.
to
Correct.
drive them back. Yeah, especially for when it's like late at night, and then you got to be back in the morning and
That
stuff.
makes me
But
so-
the way they
Traitors-
film it is weird.
The traders
Yeah.
have to drive there so that people don't know who the traders are and
Yeah.
then drive back.
Yeah, I
I
always
bet-
wonder, like, do they keep them?
Oh my
Like,
gosh!
does
You know
production somehow keep them on set where just people can't see? I don't know,
I
because they
don't
all
know.
leave at staggered times. So
yeah,
maybe
that's true.
Mhm.
I don't know.
drive them around the corner.
I
Yeah,
guess
they
have
just
them
do
hide out.
donuts. Like,
Yeah, I'm just
I
more
need- I need
concerned
more
about the
behind the
carbon
scenes.
emissions now. This is like a Taylor Swift situation, all this driving back and forth.
That's right.
People
We
are
need
going
a
to start
jet
tracking
tracker.
the traders.
Mhm.
SUV.
It's
And we're-
necessary for drama, though.
But guess what?
All
We're
in the
gonna
name of
get that
drama.
taken down real quick.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Watch us. We got a lawyer on site.
So Ash and the traders meet up after driving around the woods and being brought back to the castle. And Ash is like kind of pissed at Paul for throwing her to the bus, but like kind of not that
I
pissed.
know.
feel
You know, do you
like,
think it's like she's like he's kind of like a bad boy.
yeah, she's falling
You
in
know,
love
like,
with him.
I kind of
Yeah,
like that he's
that's how they
like
get you.
aggressive.
The
He
serial
nagged her.
killers,
Yeah.
they make eye contact with you.
He's
and they
only
make you
doing
feel
it because
special.
he likes me.
Yeah.
Yes.
I think
You
she
know-
didn't want to rock the boat. And I
Mhm.
honestly think it was because the other ones are 3 dudes. So she
Mhm.
felt, she already knew she was on the bottom. So then if she rocks the boat, it's like, I say though, you got to use that opportunity to get in with Miles and Harry and be like, if he's going to
Yes.
turn on me
Yeah.
this quick.
Mhm.
Like, what makes you think he's not going to turn on you? and then you got to take some power. Because she just
should've.
played it way too safe.
Yeah, she should have wedged between Harry and Paul. That would have been the move early on too, and been like, we can't have somebody like this. We got to know that we're on each other's side.
Yeah.
Right.
But then,
Paul was the mastermind for sure.
Yeah. And everyone goes along with Paul's crazy plan, which is like the letters brought that 4 people have to like go to the dungeon tomorrow.
That's so
and then,
crazy. Oh, the dungeon.
Better use of the dungeon, I think, than the US version.
Oh yeah,
I agree.
It was dingy, good set
Yeah,
design.
that's what I'm talking. They're very good at the British. They get it.
Yes, they're very good.
They're
the
very-
British are.
They are.
They
They're
perfected a
their
dungeon.
Sets, you know, even
It's
their
like
set
they know
designers
about
are better.
castles
They
more
used to
than
keep
Americans.
They do.
Somehow.
Paul has
And
one
they're
in his
not
house.
even in Britain. They're in Scotland.
Yeah, true. Yeah, that's true. Yeah,
That's
Wait,
true.
is
Not
that
even-
part of Britain though?
It's the UK.
UK.
Okay,
I think.
hon.
It's part of the U part.
Yeah,
United.
Yeah.
United.
it's and it is a K. So that Paul has this crazy plan that he and Ash will go down into the dungeon along with 2 other faithfuls, and Meg and Andrew, and that and that like one of them will be rescued, whoever like the faithful think is the most faithful, and he's like, it's definitely going to be me rescued.
Rescue
And then
Rangers.
Oh,
We'll
Harry.
vote.
Yeah, he comes
Smug
back.
little prick.
he's like, I'm the most popular, which he was voted most popular, but he was like really banking on
Yeah,
being
can't write on
popular.
The
No.
superlatives that they had to do was interesting.
It was also too early on.
Too
I
early,
feel like you
yeah.
can't be voted Mr. Popular like 3 episodes in.
He's
That's-
too
You
cocky.
got to reserve it for the end, because I would argue Harry or Mollie were probably the most popular of anybody.
Yes.
You
Yeah,
can't get too
Harry's super
comfortable
popular.
early on and be like, well, everyone
Mhm.
loves me, and don't bank on it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And I think that's the most frustrating thing about him as a traitor is just his ego.
Ego.
Of like thinking he's way better than he
Or
is.
just, okay, remember when he comes back from the dungeon and he's acting like he's just been through it, like he's been
Yeah.
really in the
Again, he's like,
it's like,
how
it's
do
like,
I
is
take-
that soot on your head? Like, how do you,
Yeah.
He rubs his
like,
face on
"Oh."
the wall.
you don't
Put
believe
dirt
what
on
I've
his
just been through?
Mm-hmm.
You don't know what they did to us down there.
Yeah, it's
But
real
also
offensive.
Ash, she didn't
Do anything.
fight hard enough to
Yeah.
not be in that dungeon, because
Yeah.
they all knew what they were going to do to her. Paul knew. So if they tried to vote you out the last time, my girl, like, what are you doing? You got to fight
Yeah.
harder. She didn't have the oomph
She didn't
to,
have that
to
X
be a traitor.
factor.
I mean,
Yeah.
she was scared of the psychic. Like no one takes the
Yeah.
psychic
Yeah.
seriously.
I
Even
do.
people believe in it.
I
poor
famously
lady.
always loved. I love the clairvoyants. I always like the psychics. I always think that we can get them on the show because like
It
no
just
one
kills
likes them.
me when they put it'll be like Sophia or Tracy, psychic, and then she'll go, I don't even know what's going on. I don't know who the traitors
Yeah.
are. And it just
They're-
says it under her name,
yeah.
and I'm like, they
Yeah,
put
the
that nameplate up
Yeah,
right
they know what
then.
they're doing.
Or I like when
Yeah.
they're called like clairvoyants. It just sounds so much more sophisticated.
Mhm.
Yeah.
It does. It's
Still.
a fancy psychic. Yeah.
Oh,
Mhm.
yeah,
Just
no,
British
I
psychic.
did not know what the hell was going
Yeah.
on the entire
No.
time.
But maybe that makes her like a good clairvoyant though. Like she's
She's
She
on
can
another
get away.
ether.
on
in
another-
another
Oh,
dimension.
yeah,
she's
okay.
somewhere else entirely.
She's in another realm.
Yeah.
So
She
many
just wasn't it.
messages.
She was playing
Mhm.
traitors in another dimension.
Exactly.
Yes.
Where she
different.
won, probably.
won,
She
In a
yeah,
different
she
won.
franchise. We'll watch
She
that
won
Yeah.
too.
doubloons.
Yes. She beat the angel Gabriel or whatever.
No, but you're right though. I didn't like this
it's-
whole Paul turning because he's all like, "Oh, I got to do this. I have to do it. This is how you have to play the game." But he was all in it for himself. Meanwhile, Harry's like, "Well, this sucks, but I have a family." Again, it's like for me, it's the motivation.
Mhm.
So Harry
Yes.
working hard for when he said he had quote 11 or 12 brothers and sisters.
Yeah.
you got to
Well,
get a head count,
By
man.
the way,
And
yeah,
I think he
know
had a
the
kid, didn't
number.
he?
Yeah, like
11 or 12. Yeah.
How do you-
I don't know.
or 12.
To say.
like maybe it's I was thinking when he said it's like maybe one's like a half brother or half sister, so it's a little
Oh.
But that person's
complicated
also like,
relationship.
"Hey,
Hey,
Yeah.
what do you mean?
I don't
or
count.
12?
Yeah.
but
11
meanwhile,
or
Paul's
12.
like, I have to. He's like crying, and he's like, I'm gonna just redirect this emotion to benefit myself. I don't like that. It's all benefiting you, dirty
yeah,
dog.
I
It's
will
not like
say,
dirty
though,
play.
Yeah, it was dirty,
Yeah,
but I will say
okay.
he's like the only person who's
A dirty birdie.
gotten out of like getting all that heat at the round table. Like they
Mhm.
pretty much
Yeah.
busted him, and he just stayed like, very calm, slowed down his heartbeat to like 60 degrees.
Yeah. Raise and lower my blood pressure at will.
It's the breath work. We were talking about they have that breath work, and then the goblets help. When they're grabbing the goblet,
They get something to do.
Prompts. Yeah. And he nailed it. He was like, "Well, if that's it, then that's it." And they're like, "Oh, it's not Paul."
Yeah.
Not
and when he's like, well, if they're not a traitor, you can banish me tomorrow. And it's like, bitch, you know that they are a traitor, so that's not going to happen. He's just throwing everybody under the bus. I will say he did really well until he finally, people were like, maybe it's Paul.
And do you think like by that time it was like not even like we know he's a traitor, or maybe they were just like, you know what, I just don't like him as a roommate.
I don't want to be a roommate.
We just want to evict him.
We need to get justice for Jazz, because Jazz was calling out Paul out. Jazz said, if I go tomorrow, it's Paul. And the whole time, Jazz had fucking eyes on everybody. And then people were like, I just don't trust him. I'm like, why? Because he's a brown guy with a beard? What do you mean you don't trust him?
It was racism, for sure.
On all of you all the time.
He really emerged as like the most smartest.
I
think is the official term.
The most smartest.
That's how they say it over 100%. There.
Yeah. 100%.
Yeah,
and he's on to Paul, and he tells Harry, and he's like, he tells a couple of people, including Harry, and it was like the last thing before they go to bed that night. So he kind of realizes in the morning when Paul immediately confronts him and says, you suspect me? How dare you think I'm being suspicious?
I'll kill you.
You know what I have been through.
No one will ever find you. I can murder people, don't you? I'll murder you and they'll never find you. But I did like Harry kind of being like, oh, you think it's Paul? Okay. And just kind of being, and me,
leaving it open.
In a different way, he was Suri-ish, because Suri never, she played a little bit of ignorance, but most of the time she'd be like, well, who do you think it is? Maybe it would be whoever threw the mission today, but and they're like, oh, it was so-and-so. And she's like, maybe it was so-and-so. So she would get other people to say it for her, but I do like that the Suri-ish of like,
he did.
Yeah. Okay.
He played like the most Suri-ish. Like his traitor style was closest to Suri, but also he was pretending to be, I feel like, an Aaron type faithful from last season, where like sometimes Harry played a little too dumb for me, where he'd be like, when we win the challenge, do we get money or lose money? And people would be like, oh, Harry.
And I'm like,
you're real people?
I'm always like, they give you a gun? They let you in the military? Uh-oh.
Yeah. I don't know if they get guns over there in the military.
They
Not
get
even
swords.
the military.
It's a bow and arrow. You get a bow and arrow like Lego.
Oh, nice. Yeah, I was hoping, though, I was very much on the Mollie and Harry train.
Shipping.
But they both have significant others, but I was really hoping they would break up with
whenever
them
we talk
together.
about the ending, like I was like, I'm still not okay about it. Like I was expecting him to be like, I mean, do I just spoil it now, Lauren?
No, Michelle, don't jump ahead.
You go in order, right?
Yes, go in order. We talked about this.
I have ADHD, Lauren diagnosed.
I know. So the next we have like this grave robbing mission in the middle of the night, and
this was crazy. The grave stuff, like I don't like the grave scenes and like the getting buried alive and then being in your own funeral procession.
Yeah.
It doesn't I don't know. It doesn't pass a vibe check for me.
Poor Miles was like, I don't want to touch any of that part.
Yeah.
It's like okay if you like hate cemeteries.
If you want to be a traitor, go touch the grave.
But it's like if you really do have like a genuine fear, you still have to kind of participate in another way that's not just like standing on the edge and yelling at everyone.
Yeah, it's like,
and not even yelling the right stuff.
No. And it's like and it's like, okay, can I get back in this covered wagon or whatever? Like Little House on the Prairie.
I like all the challenges. I know that there's
not a popular opinion.
Yeah, y'all don't like the challenge, but I do. I like them when they're like
you like the wet
creepy
suits?
And spooky.
I like the spooky ones.
The spooky ones are better than I don't like all the ones with like the wetsuits. Like why are they always like wetsuits? Like why do they have to go to like find Nessie and then light things on fire?
They should.
That would be a really good challenge.
There's psychopaths here. Can we?
And it would be
this is like reality TV. Can we focus on the crazy people and not like having people swim around in wetsuits trying to light a fire.
I hear you, because the missions, I mean, they're interesting, and I like the challenge, and I think, well, how would I do that? And would I do it that way? But sometimes I feel nothing during them, because I don't really feel like that the time is a legitimate thing that's kept. So they'll always be like, they barely made it. And I'm like, this is fake as hell. You know, they paused that shit. And so then I'm like, well, this is, to me, I'm like, okay.
It's just something for them to do to win money.
But I don't know if it really adds much to
I would agree with that.
And I also don't know if it adds much to like what they're thinking about. Like, is this person a traitor, or is this person the faithful? Like, maybe it does, because, well, I haven't seen many challenges.
There has to be more stakes, and they they did make it better in season 2, because at first it was just like, okay, you're broken into 2 teams, and it's like, well, it doesn't really matter. There's no advantage to winning.
We all have to try to get. We all want this.
Everybody wants the money. So then when they changed it to like, well, the winning team has a chance to go in the armory, then it made a little more sense that there were like teams, because there were stakes. But I was like, they're just doing these missions to win money that everybody's going to win. So it doesn't really matter who wins.
Exactly.
Yeah. It feels like a lack of creativity to me, where it's like, well, they don't really know how to fill the time, so they're like, well, this is comfortable to do in a competitive reality show, so let's just do that. I do like that they leaned spookier this season.
Like, being in this like field of scarecrows isn't what I would define as comfortable, you know.
That was a creepy one.
Taking a covered wagon.
Yeah.
The church.
Where they walk in.
The belt? Was that the season where they're pulling the belt, like trying to do the song?
There's that one, but there's the one where they have to like solve the riddles and then find the people sitting in the pews and have the thing. I like that one.
I don't ever want to solve a riddle.
Oh, I love riddles.
I like to watch
riddles.
Other people trying to solve the riddle too, and especially when you watch them side by side, and one side like actually is solving it, and the other side, someone is so loud and so wrong, but so sure, and then people are like, I don't know, and then you're just like, you dumbass.
I would be that person for sure, because I would just start saying things like, hopefully one of them sticks, so we can just be done. Because like, I'm not like, why are you treating me like I don't want to solve a riddle? I don't want to be stuck in a place like doing like I don't.
You're like a sleeper cell agent, like October.
Red October. I don't know. 1969. We didn't.
You're like Kate.
We didn't really land on the moon. Okay.
Would you throw a mission like Kate did and just start throwing barrels of money off the side of the mountain?
Like Donkey Kong. Like I would just start throwing it and just be like, I don't care anymore.
My bad.
Like, near the end, I'm tired. I want to go home. I famously go to sleep at 9 o'clock.
Yeah.
Kate here. I just like, please.
You are Kate.
Yeah.
We got Kate on the show.
They would be like, why did we cast you?
So Miles doesn't participate in the mission, and the traitors are especially Paul is like really mad at him for that. Which, did you think it was fair how upset Paul was or not?
No,
he's kind of embarrassing in how like
his levels of like being like incensed about something like is a little extreme.
Well, when you
watch
red
flaggish,
yes, you watch him cry and then go, well, I'm gonna twist my crying, and then I'm like, are you really mad? Or are you really like? To me, then everything rings false.
I will say, as a as a watcher of the reality TV arts, I will say he's excellent reality TV. Like he reminds me a lot. Lauren, who he reminds me of is Lindsay Hubbard from Summer House.
Yeah, I could say. I think he is also to some extent trying to make.
He's
TV.
making
like he's playing it up.
But as somebody who, because I don't particularly like this type of show. Like I don't really like we're doing challenges and like I like just like
the talking, living. The drama.
Yes, talk about your husband who went to prison, and then you're in prison and you don't really have money, and your boyfriend faked cancer. That happened.
Who is this?
That happened on OC. Vicky Gumbelson.
Oh, that's right. That's right. Yeah, you were combining two.
Yeah, I was.
They all blend together.
But I like that. I don't really want to be like, are you hiding a secret? And it's just like, I don't really. So I need someone to be making moments at all times. Otherwise, I might fall asleep before 9 o'clock.
You got Paul.
And Paul's
making moments.
He definitely gives us a moment when the traitors are given an assignment to kill someone in plain sight by having them drink out of the goblet. And Paul is like, Miles, you have to do it because you sucked at the challenge, and pressures him into it. And Miles does not do
Paul's
it good.
Like, I know the way that Paul does it, though. He's like, not it.
Yeah. It's like, well, obviously, I won't be doing it because I was very good at the challenge.
Like, he's like, you have
it's
to.
Probably would be whoever was worse at the challenge. Miles. I'm like, this is so mean.
He's a bully, and that's why I don't like him as a traitor. I think he's very smart and conniving, but if he was also sincerely nice, then I would have been rooting for him. But he just seems like he's kind of a bully.
He does.
Very quickly established himself as like the alpha male, and just wouldn't listen to anybody. And then like Harry, he liked, because he's a good-looking white guy.
Probably. He's just trying to get money for his family.
Like, I see myself in you, young man.
And I was
like,
mortified if Paul said that to me. Because
Harry's like, you would never be in the military.
Paul would
reevaluate.
Be so good on like Real Housewives of New Jersey, because the men on that show have like big. They play a major role on that show, so he would be great.
They're like the B team in Jersey.
Pick them across the ponds.
Like, Miles did not execute the murder in plain sight because he has no chill and he has no poker face.
Like,
he was the worst person to do it.
Like,
Hey, Diane, do you want to switch drinks with me really quick?
Yeah, that's normal.
But to be fair, like when it happened on USA, it was Parvati, who's a mastermind, and everyone was drunk. Like everyone was dead sober, and he's got to be like, drink this.
Would you like a fizzy rosé?
Man handing a woman a glass. Drink. This is normal.
Yeah, what the hell, Diane?
Red flaggish about this at all.
Don't be taking an open drink from a man you don't know well.
In a goblet? No.
I don't care if
she was
gay.
trusting.
Don't trust
a man
him.
A man that acts that way around a cemetery? No.
Guilty conscience. That's what that's it. So then the next day, it is announced that everyone comes back, but there was a murder last night in plain sight. And they do a funeral procession to one by one eliminate who it might be. And the 3 possible people who were murdered lay in graves, which means Diane has to lie in a grave in front of her secret son.
Yes. She knows he's her son, you know.
Her.
She does. And he knows she's her mom. They're the only 2 that
he doesn't know yet that's his mom. No,
it's revealed to him in the finale.
That would be so like Maury Povich or something.
Right?
You are the mother.
Diane, you are murdered and you are the mother.
And by the way, this man was your son the whole time. She's like, wait, what? And they're like, you have to leave the castle. Wait, son.
She's like, I don't remember giving birth.
I don't know.
It was so interesting, though, that very early on, I don't remember who it was, but they were like, I think Diane and Paul or mom and son.
Yeah.
Was it Zach that thought that?
It was the one that he was almost right about.
Almost. He almost had it.
Off the show.
But do you guys feel like they had a huge advantage just knowing that they had a person on their side that has their back there?
Yeah, especially if it's your mom.
Yeah, just the comfort of knowing, like, I can sneak into a room and talk to her real quick, and you always kind of have somebody there.
Bring me a glass of milk, not in a goblet.
I'm not trying to discount your skills as a player, Christy, but I think that also is why I felt comfortable when I came in late to the Traitors game, because I was like, our relationship goes beyond this. Like, I really feel like if I had been, and the second time I was a traitor and I was like not overtly being like, I swear I'm not a traitor, I was like, lots of people can be him. I don't know. Because I was like, I can't look this woman in the face and be like, no,
I immediately knew. I was like, Heather's.
And she's like, we got to get Heather out. And I'm like, I would rather go down honestly. But in the end of that other one where she's like, look at me and it's like, are we good? And I was like, we will split these prizes. And if I had been a traitor, I would have been like, wink, we will split these prizes. Let's vote again.
We will share the CBD.
But no, it's much like whenever she's in the coffin, when Diane's in the coffin and is like,
Like,
I know.
That kind of like secret, like we would have just been like, wink.
Well,
that was so sweet, though. I was glad she got to do that.
If I saw my mom having to do that, I feel like it would be a little traumatic for me. Like,
you know, British people always be saying the most traumatic shit in such an understated way, because Ross was like, well, that was a bit grim and I'm like, you had to see your mom in a coffin.
A
bit sad, isn't it?
A little bit sad, isn't it?
Shook me a bit.
Red beans.
I think he's dying
Open another
inside,
tin.
but can't show it externally. But
Oh my God.
it would be very
There must be
rough
so much going on. Like last season,
Yes.
I was like, the first season of UK, I was like, these people aren't British. They're crying all the time. They are like not hiding their emotions. That's what I
These
think of when I think
snowflakes.
of the Brits. And these people are like, they know the assignment of what it means to be British.
Mhm.
Shut the fuck up.
Yeah.
Yeah, just hold it in. But it was
Repress
interesting to
your
watch,
feelings.
like the close up on Ross's face, because like almost without doing so, he made like without, you know, he wasn't over the top like, you know, he was just as devastated, but as the other people. So it looked natural. But I think also like that just shows she wasn't a traitor, and neither was he. You know, there's nothing
Yeah.
bad about people knowing that. You confirming it,
He wasn't yet.
right?
Yet.
Dot.
But he swears his revenge. And Paul, this is the part that really went too far for me with Paul. I just thought it was bad sportsmanship. Immediately outs Miles, claims that Diane told him it was Miles, but really he knows it's Miles because he made Miles do it. And he gets voted out. Like,
he's
that's
a snake.
No.
Yeah.
And that's
Total
what,
snake.
I feel bad about I feel bad about Miles because much like Ash watching and Harry watching him kind of go after Ash, they should have fucking took his ass out.
That's what I'm saying.
But the same thing with Miles. It's like some of these people, I'm like, you're reaping the consequences of your actions. Why the fuck would Miles trust Paul after what he did to Ash in fucking plain sight? If somebody acts like that, don't think you're exempt from them doing it to you.
They were letting them getting steamrolled, and they just kind of let him take the reins.
Too charming.
Sure.
Yeah.
Not even charming. I think it's more like
Control.
a little bit of fear.
Yeah,
Like you don't want him to turn on you.
Yeah.
They saw it. You. I mean,
he's
maybe
like a
that's
dictator.
to his
He's
point.
like running this place like Trump or something.
Yeah, he establishes his
Are
dominance.
we at Mar-a-Lago all of a sudden?
He's got a
Actually,
lot of
that's where
documents.
they should shoot the
in his
U.S.
bathroom.
traitors. They should shoot.
Oh, damn. They should.
should
Yeah,
put
it's
up
just
Mar-a-Lago.
politicians.
It's just Donald
Yeah,
Trump.
But
no,
they
no,
need
no,
to murder them
What are all
for real.
these
They die in real life.
documents doing here?
Why is Donald Trump saying murder like that? It's really weird.
Murder.
Oh yeah, poor Miles. R.I.P.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah, that was, but he fought at that round table, but
he did.
not hard enough. Even
No.
like him
late.
fighting is not really
Too
selling
little.
it. Yeah,
late.
he just
Yeah.
sounded like he was always not. He knew he was lying.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
He
then
wasn't
meanwhile,
selling it.
Paul's just sitting there like shining, and I'm like, the only
He's
one
in his
that
comfort
knows.
zone, lie city.
Yep.
Jazz
And
fucking
and
sees through you.
it's crazy to me, that like, I mean, presumably this is like the only season where everyone has watched the show. They've all watched season 1 of the show, and it's like, how do you not know that that is what traitors do? Is like, why does that make someone look more faithful when they know exactly what a traitor was thinking and what they did and can like mastermind it? It's like, for some reason they're like, that's how we know this person's innocent because they practice.
Yeah.
Like, no, you should maybe
Or just
Like
like,
the
you know, pick up on
opposite for
social
them.
cues or just like
Yeah.
body language or
Yeah,
something very
any of
aggressive.
it.
You're like, you know, maybe it is like the simplest thing where like the person who is aggressive and mean and acting like a bully might actually be the person that's killing people.
I came late in the first round. I was a faithful, and I helped Christie win that bag.
I had a feeling, and I did have a feeling on the first one too. And
That I was faithful?
yeah, but also like to win
Oh, yeah.
of who it was, but I wanted to share it.
Yes.
Gotta share it.
I just gave it all to you because I figured we would share it. So I was like, so win-win.